Hey, you guys. So if you guys are in the room, go ahead and like as you're coming on in. Hit that like button as you're coming on in.
Okay, you're good because I can hear you through my
So if you
phone.
guys are in the room, go ahead and like as you're coming on in. Hit that like button as you're coming on in.
Okay, you're good because I can hear you through my
So if
phone.
you guys are in the
Yay, we
room,
made it
go ahead
work.
and like as you're coming on in.
Mhm.
Hit that like button as you're coming on in. Hey, Regina.
Okay, you're
Hey,
good because I can
April.
hear you through my phone.
How y'all doing today? Hey, Mama 12.
Hi, Mom of 12.
All right, y'all. We're going to wait a few more minutes to get a few more people in the room. How's everybody Sunday treating them? What y'all cook today? Anybody cook? Hey, Patricia. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button coming on in, okay? I didn't cook today, y'all. I don't have
I
any
didn't.
children at the house. I said, cook for what? Who I'm cooking for?
You don't. So you don't cook just to cook.
Uh-uh. I got to have a
Like who does
reason.
that? Yeah.
I need bodies in the building.
Sometimes I do like to just cook to cook because I
You
want to
chilling
eat
in the
something
project,
hot for a
Regina?
change. Huh?
Hey, Melinda. All right, y'all. We're going to get a few more people up in here. And we're going to get started, okay? You said some spaghetti and some fried chicken. Baby, I don't know. Hey, Mrs. Sassy Saving Sister. What's
I
going on,
know.
boo?
Hey, Miss Sassy.
Just a few more people, y'all.
I used to like to eat spaghetti with cornbread. Does anybody eat spaghetti with cornbread?
I ain't never had it with cornbread. I always have it with garlic bread, but cornbread, that don't sound
Some
bad.
sweet cornbread, you would be surprised. Oh my god.
Mama 12, you crafting today, baby. What you crocheting? Mama 12, she crochets, Francoise, she knits, girl, she do everything.
I like knitting. I learned how to knit in the third grade. Mostly just like blankets and like small things. I can crochet too a little bit, but I'm so out of practice. But it is
Hey,
one of those
silly
things when you
money.
pick it up, you can start back again real quick.
Hi, Shannon. How y'all doing today? Thanks for joining us, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Francois, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button coming on in, okay?
So, Tasha, do you want to just mention like the chat room, like how we kind of operate the chat room when we're talking?
Yeah, so here's the thing, you guys. So as you guys can tell from the last couple of lives, we're kind of doing this like a Regis and Kathy Lee type feel, right? So her and I are discussing a lot of what's going on. We want to and will engage with y'all as well, but it's gonna be kind of hard to for us to talk back and forth and then keep popping down with the comments. So what I would encourage you guys is to converse amongst each other in the chat, and as we can, we'll jump in and mention your comment or reply to your comment. Okay, so I hope you guys like that style, but that's the style that we so far have come up with. Like I said, our whole live process is a work in progress, so as we do it more often, we'll get better with it. We'll figure out a different way to craft it. Okay.
Okay. So, Tasha, why don't you just I don't know, do you want to tell us what you've been doing this weekend or what's been going on over at your
Yeah, so
house?
you guys, so as you know, as moms, y'all, everybody has a busy week. So if you guys remember, or if you haven't seen, you can go and check my video. It was a few days ago. My daughter got into some trouble, right? And she ended up going to jail. Well, update, she's out. She got out Thursday, and I hate saying that, y'all, because it sounds like my baby is a convict. But she did get out. They end up basically dismissing her charges, but they
Good.
fine. Yeah, so she won't have to do probation or anything like that.
Awesome.
So praise God. But it's still going to be on her record, right? So now we got to work with. My brother actually has an attorney on retainer. This period, he just does, and he's going to have that attorney work with myself and my daughter to get this expunged off her record. Because if you watch my video, guy, my baby, she's only 20 years old, so she's very remorseful. She actually ended up being able to keep her
Don't
job.
don't do that.
My daughter works at Walmart, so when all the stuff happened, I ended up calling her job and um, got her on a leave of absence. So she got out Thursday. That baby went back to work Friday. Okay, she was not playing any games. Um, she got some money to pay back to me. Okay, because I'm not giving you anything for free. So, um, so yeah. So needless to say, everything is working out thus far. I just pray she learned from her mistakes. She says she has, but as adults, young adults, life is a learning lesson. She has to learn from her lesson. I try not to judge her. I just gave her my opinion on her situation and how she should never put herself in that position again. Because like I told her, I said, your mother is over 40 years old, and I've never been pulled over and had those type of allegations thrown in my face. So she can go that long without that happening to her ever again. Um,
She was
that's
lucky.
pretty much it, y'all.
She
Yeah.
was really
So
lucky. That's awesome. I'm happy. I mean, it'll be really good news that if she doesn't have it on her record at all, that'll be the
yeah,
best news. But luckily, and hopefully they'll be able to
well,
get it off of there.
because it's a misdemeanor offense, and we'll be able to get that expunged off her record. I just got to figure out what the procedure is. I think she has to wait a certain period of time before you can go to get it expunged. I don't really know. I mean, we're gonna meet with the attorney next week, and I'm gonna figure all that out then. So I'll
Yeah,
keep you guys
because if
updated on
if
that.
they're throwing it out and they say charges dismissed or something, there's no proof that anything in the car was hers. Then that might be something that the attorney can help you with. But yeah, that's good. That's really really good news. So, anything else going on this weekend?
Um, my husband and I went to Chicago yesterday. Um, um, we I just needed a day away, right? So I was able to send the children with family, and we was able to go and hang out in Chicago. So we had a really really nice time. I actually didn't vlog that, you guys, because I just needed a break from everything, and I'm sorry about that, but I just wanted to enjoy him and vice versa. And we did. We had a really, really good time. I actually got some bad news yesterday, Francois, on my way
But
back in town. My best friend, she lives in Atlanta, Georgia, but her sons live here. She has two older sons that live here. One is 18 and one is 17. Her 18-year-old son got shot yesterday, you guys, six
mm,
times.
oh my
He actually,
God, is he in the
yeah, yeah,
hospital?
he is at the hospital.
Oh,
Actually, when we
okay.
got back into town yesterday, I got the call as we were coming back into town, and I rushed to the hospital that he was at. Um, because I've been knowing this little boy since he was knee high to a duck. So he's that's my nephew. Even though my friend and I, we're not biological sisters, but that's my
Hmm.
nephew.
Right.
So I went up there to see him. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into the room because there was so many other people there to see him. But his grandmother was there, which is my best friend's mother, and I just made sure she let him know that I came to. But yes, he has to have he got surgery done today because she was shot six times, and he had got shot in his hand. I think
Mm,
there was three bullets in his hand, so he had
wow.
surgery on his hand this morning to get those bullets removed. So y'all keep this young man in y'all prayers. We gotta worry about our young black men out here, y'all. We really do. We gotta pray for them. We gotta pray for them.
Wow. Did they get the person who shot him yet, or they
I
don't know
believe not.
what
I don't
happened?
believe so. Yeah, I don't
Wow.
have all the full details, but
Well, thankfully
I
he's
did ask that
alive
question. Yeah,
and able to tell his story. That's
yeah, yeah.
That's the good news, is that he's still alive. So he made it
Yes,
through
it
that,
is.
because that's 6 shots is that's considerable. So yeah,
Yes, it
that's
is.
awful. Um, so I have my anniversary this weekend.
So how
My
was
husband,
that?
yes, we celebrated 5 years. Me and my husband
Oh,
Raheem, and I posted a bunch of videos on my channel. So if anyone after
yeah.
this would like to see, would like to learn a little bit more about me, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go over to my channel. I've got a bunch of videos posted from this weekend. Luckily, we were able to kind of get a little bit of a getaway. Um, we got married here in Charlotte, and so we went back to the hotel where we got married, and we've been doing that every year since we got married. So this will be the 5th anniversary that we've spent back where we got married. And we just it's just an opportunity for us to spend some time together and kind of get back to the reason why we did this whole thing to begin with. And we had a really nice, relaxing weekend. It was very nice. So
Well, I did catch your videos. I did. So if you guys haven't caught those videos, y'all need to go over to Francoise Vlogs channel. Make sure y'all take a look at her videos. Subscribe while you're there. Like those videos. Comment if you can. Um, she has a lot of pictures from her wedding. Her wedding was beautiful, 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 beautiful. What color was that, Francois? Was it
it
like a
was
peachish
it was coral.
coral? Coral.
It was
Beautiful,
really pretty. It was the
beautiful.
closest I could get to pink without my husband saying absolutely not. So
Did
he
you
was
know
really a
real
good
men don't
sport.
wear pink?
I know. And it looks so nice on men too.
It does.
Pink
It
is
really
such a
does.
flattering color for so many people. Um, but yeah, we had a really good weekend. Farah went to her auntie's house. So my husband's from Charlotte, so his family's here. So she went over to his oldest sister's house and spent the weekend. She has kids her age. They had a great weekend. Everybody joined us for dinner last night. All of his siblings and his dad and his girlfriend and one nephew and one of my girlfriends. So not a big, huge crowd, but we had like about 12 people for dinner. It was nice. So we
Oh, that
went
sounds really
to an
nice.
Italian restaurant. So we enjoyed ourselves. It was really nice. And that was pretty much it. That's all
Oh,
we
okay.
did. Hmm. So I think that was, yeah. I just have one more video to post from the anniversary, but I'll post that one tomorrow morning because I didn't want to
You'll
like
post that tomorrow.
just go
Okay.
crazy and but I also didn't want to post a bunch of really long videos either because I know that that can be just a bit much. I think I try to keep them like 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. And I know I had a couple recently that were like 30 minutes. And I know it's hard for people to watch. So, and get that much time to dedicate to a video. So I'm going to post this next one tomorrow morning.
So let's talk about what's going on in pop news.
I know.
So, if any of y'all familiar, which everybody should be familiar with this name, Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams is a talk show host, right? And Wendy came out to her fans, her viewers, her supporters, to let us know that she had in the past a cocaine addiction, and from what I gather from the story, that she is still currently dealing with that cocaine addiction, and has checked herself into a sober house. So, from the research that I had did on the story, that Wendy, the Daily News or the Daily Mall, um, was going to expose her. So I guess once her publicist found out that they were going to expose her, they briefed her on the information. She decided to expose herself first, which I feel like was beautiful because she was able to tell her side of the story on her platform in her own words. So I
Mhm.
commend Wendy Williams for that. And as y'all know, with the gossip that's going on in celebrity news, Wendy Williams is also dealing with allegedly her husband being unfaithful, and so that lady has a lot
Again,
going on, huh?
unfaithful again.
Again, yeah.
Hmm.
So that lady has a lot going on in her life, and I'm praying for Wendy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not a big Wendy Williams fan. Like I didn't really watch her talk show like that. Like when certain people would go on her talk show, I would watch it for that reason. I wasn't a real big Wendy Williams fan, but you know she is a black woman, and I support all black women, and so I pray for her sobriety, and I pray for her physical and mental health. I truly do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm curious to know when it started back. I mean, she doesn't really owe us any answers, but I mean, I've listened to Wendy back, gosh, back when she was on Hot 97. I'm originally from New Jersey, so I was listening to Wendy a long time ago on the radio. I remember when Charlemagne was an intern on her show. Charlemagne, who's on the Breakfast Club, when he was, this was a long time ago, maybe probably 10, 15 years ago. Um,
Hmm.
and so I've been a fan of Wendy's for a long time. I'm just kind of curious because, and not that that makes a difference. I mean, you're in a sober house, you're handling your addiction, and that's great. I'm just curious to know when it started back because, um, Wendy is, it's a gossip show. We all know that. And I'm not saying that she sits up here. I know some people feel like she sits up here and she's judging and looking down on people. I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I'm just curious because she has called people out before for drug abuse. And I'm just curious when this started with her. Did this start when these rumors started with her husband, like went really into overdrive that she was probably having to do a little self-medicating? Um, what
Probably
triggered
a
the
combination of
relapse
all.
and when did the
Probably a
relapse
combination of
occur?
all of them. I
I'm
will.
just
I do know
I'm just
this.
curious.
Wendy did say that she's a functional addict. She
Right.
or
She
she
can get up,
was
she
a
can
functional addict.
handle.
Right.
Yeah, so that
Hmm.
she was a functional addict at the time that she was with Hot 97 and she was able to get up and go to work and handle her business and people really didn't know. And I think at the time too, especially being in entertainment, like let's say away from TV but more so radio, and you're dealing with all of these pop stars, rap stars, whatever. Hot 97 at the time was the hottest radio station in New York City. People probably were doing cocaine and it wasn't like that big of a deal. And when she realized that she had a problem that maybe she couldn't stop or then was starting to interfere with her life, when she decided to give it up, or maybe it was that she decided to have a kid because she did talk about having many miscarriages once upon a time, so that could be one of the reasons. So I'm not really sure, but yeah, I was just curious to know. I wonder if it's going to come up and out at some point. Um, you know what, what brought this on, and maybe that'll be a book. Wendy is calls herself the queen of all media, so maybe she might come out with a book or something like that to talk about this whole situation.
Well, Nikki Mommy of Three says in the comments that she's never stopped. And to be quite honest with you, I believe that to be true too because you know I believe that to be true too. I believe
But
she
she
never
never
did
stopped.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe she's always been a functional addict. I do know people personally like that. Like they get high, but they manage to go to work, they pay their bills, but on the weekends they get high all weekend. And then on Monday morning they get up and go to work again. Like it happens to a lot of people. See, here's the thing, y'all. People feel like because you have a certain persona, that you're untouchable, or people think people in high celebrity statuses are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one's perfect, right? We all have faults. So when people like a Wendy Williams, something dramatic happens to her, everybody like, oh my God, how that happened to Wendy? What? That happened? She got all that money. Yes, and she does cocaine with all that money. Like just because you got money and you rich don't mean you're not human. You're not of flesh. You know what I mean? You can be easily tempted. And but I will say this: I'm not judging Wendy by any means.
Yeah.
I admire her for standing up and letting people know her situation instead of
Mm-hmm.
hiding it.
Right.
That speaks volumes for her.
Now, some people in the chat room are saying that Judge Mathis said she had 8 abortions. How does Judge Mathis know? Was he a
Right on
doctor?
down.
Was he a doctor at a clinic? Does he have some access to her medical records? How's he know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well,
just trying to see what.
I will say this. Like I said, I'm praying for Wendy, and I hope that works out for the whole infidelity thing. You know, like baby, I don't know. I just hope they
Yeah.
work that out, right? Because I'm gonna tell you like this: once that happened, once that type of trust is broken, for me personally, it ain't a whole bunch of rebounding back for that for me. And then, and because she is in the public eye, and you
Mm-hmm.
go and do something like this and put that y'all marital business out there for the whole world to see, like shame on you, boo. For real. Shame on you.
Mm. So someone saying Care Bears is saying that they were in a live and he called her out about it and she admitted it. I mean, you know what? She wouldn't be the first person. There are plenty of women out here, um, some we know, some we don't know, who have used abortion as their birth control. I'm not judging if that, I'm not judging. So that never was mine. Um, but if that's what she did, that's unfortunate. That had to happen that way, but you know, that's nothing new. And putting a number to it. But I mean, I just find it really gross when a man starts picking on a woman about woman issues, because Judge Mathis will never know what it's like to have that type of a procedure on the female side. And that's, he should be ashamed of himself for talking about a woman like that.
So I want to say this, y'all, really quick. It's like 25 people in this live, and we only got one like. So,
What?
y'all, let's support each other. You know what I'm saying? If y'all had a live and I came to y'all channel, I promise you I would like it. Even if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't, I'm gonna like it just because I'm there.
Right.
Right?
That
So,
is
Francois,
true.
what's going on?
So this week, so I guess we're going to talk about what's happened on YouTube this week. So since our last live, there's been a couple things that happened to some big YouTubers. Does anyone out there know who Jackie Ina is? She's a makeup influencer. She's got almost 3 million subscribers. Does anybody watch any of Jackie's videos? Can we get a thumbs up? Or Nikki Mama, so you're giving some thumbs up. You know who Jackie is?
Thanks,
Um,
Shane.
so yeah,
Reese
so
said
so for
she
some,
does.
yeah, so some of you who may not know who Jackie is she's African American. Actually, her mom is from Nigeria. Um, she's got a great channel. She does a lot of makeup tutorials, makeup videos, but the one channel that I really watch is her Dennis and Jackie channel. Where her and her boyfriend, who's also Nigerian, but he comes from London, where they vlog and they go on lots of exotic trips, and she's always going to like makeup kind of things, and she's pretty awesome. I enjoy her channel a lot. She's definitely living like the YouTube influencer fabulous life. She was recently on the Today Show, and she actually had a full segment where they profiled her for being a influencer of size, having almost 3 million followers, and for what she's doing in terms of encouraging makeup companies to have diversity, so that when you and I go to buy makeup, we can find our colors. Because it wasn't very long ago when you go into CVS or you go into a department store and you find like every light color shade. There's nothing that's got a little red in it. There's nothing that's got a little yellow in it. There's nothing that's got, those deeper, darker, richer tones. Everything was for a certain complexion or a certain range in a complexion, not really for a lot of us who are on this live. And she's definitely led the way with companies like Too Faced and NARS and a couple of other companies where she's been a beauty ambassador for them. So she was featured on Today's Show. So that was really big because she's just like any of us, and she's just made it huge on YouTube. And she's really leading the way in a positive way. So I just kind of wanted to talk about her because I think she's pretty awesome. And if you're ever looking for something to watch or any channels to look at, she's got a fun channel.
So let me say this real quick to elaborate a little bit more on Jackie Ina for people who, because I see a couple people in the comments don't know who she is. So Jackie Ina is a black woman. She has a beauty channel. She now just hit like over 3 million subscribers. Jackie Ina started in the service. She was in, I don't remember what branch of service she was in, but
Just a
what's
second.
unique about her is she's very dark skinned. So she promotes makeup for dark skinned women. So that's what Francois was talking about when you go into the pharmacy and you used to see just shades of all light color shades for foundation, blushes, lipsticks, or whatever. So Jackie Ina promotes the dark skinned woman. So if for any of y'all on here who like those beauty channels, like those makeup tutorials, want to support a sister, y'all go check Jackie Ina out. Now, granted, this live is not sponsored by Jackie Ina, of course. I wish it was, but it isn't. But y'all go over there and support. Like that's what YouTube should be about. Just everybody supporting each other, okay?
Yeah, so that's huge. So in other YouTube news, we had a influencer, a channel called Fantastic Adventures. I don't know if you heard about this channel earlier in the week. They had over 1 million subscribers. It was a mom, kind of a mom channel, and it was called Fantastic Adventures. This woman had a combination of natural children and adopted children. And basically, they were kind of putting on, really, it was a scripted storyline, basically, of family life. None of it was real. She was abusing the children, starving them, beating them, and this was all behind the scenes
Oh my.
of a very successful YouTube channel. So I don't know if any of you saw that in the news this week, but it was pretty disgusting. YouTube immediately took her channel down because when I actually heard about it on CNN, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, I went to try to find the channel. My computer locked up. So I
Mm.
don't know if everybody was hearing about it at the time. Everyone was trying to hit the channel, and my system just like locked up. I couldn't even find it. So yeah, I'm sure that was something, that was problematic because she had 1 million subscribers, and as we know, channels that have commercials, these advertisers are paying money to have their products advertised on these channels. And I'm sure that was a PR nightmare for YouTube because how can these companies know for sure that when they are advertising their product that you don't have somebody who is a abuser, especially of children, um, in the time slots that they're purchasing advertising for. So that was huge. Did you hear about that, Hatsha?
Yeah, and yeah, I did hear about that, and I guess I don't. I think this woman was a foster parent, and then she started adopt. She had adopted some of the children.
Yeah.
So that's why I say when you go back to that stereotype of foster parents, like a person like her can spoil it for all foster parents to put us in that stigma of all foster parents are horrible people, right? It's just like they like those sayings goes. It takes one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch, But I'm here to advocate for myself and myself only. Um, I would never harm a child. Like wouldn't even think about it. Don't even
Right.
have any thoughts about it. And what that lady, what allegedly what she has done is horrendous. Like that is just horrible. Like how can you like why would you chain up a child, starve a child? Like,
Can you believe
baby,
that?
what you getting out of that? Like what for what? You know what I mean? Just to see the look on the child's face when my kids when they come and ask me, "Can I have a bag of chips?" No. Just the look on their face, like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die if I don't get a bag of chips,"
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel bad. So to starve a child for days on end and the look on their face of pain and anguish, like what type of human could take that? Like,
She's obviously deranged. Um,
mm,
but yeah, they're saying ABAB says that her teenage daughter turned her in, which is awesome. That they, I mean, to have to go against your own parent, right or wrong. We've seen people not do that because they're too scared, and for her daughter to do that, that's amazing. So that's great that she did that because she saved all those kids. Because if they were being starved, and it was bound to happen that maybe one of them could have passed away. So And yeah, for YouTube, I wouldn't say it was just about the advertising, but at the end of the day, when you find out that you've got someone doing that, they have to pull everything. Which, why let her, because all of it's a lie. And not saying that there's not other channels out here that are scripting and creating storylines, because I'm sure that there are. Well, Tasha, we know that there are.
Right.
Um, but that's another topic. But it's not dangerous like what this woman is doing. It's probably dangerous in different ways, but certainly not where you are breaking the law and harming children. So but yeah, it was pretty gross. So we just wanted to highlight that for any of you who did not know. It's something that you can search on Google. If you just search Fantastic Adventures Abusive Mom or something like that, you will find it. um but last week, this was also some really hot off the presses news that I wanted to bring up again, because since Tasha Marie hit 1,000 subscribers, which was huge, she also has gotten a community page. So, Tasha, can you talk about that for a minute? Can you tell us all about your wonderful community page? Because I think anyone who is following you, because I know I got an important announcement today, and I definitely have that bookmarked, so I can go straight to your community page. So, tell us about it.
Yeah. So apparently, for hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, they grant you a community page, and it just helps you engage more with your audience. Like if you're in between vlogging, putting up videos, or doing lives or whatever, and it's just a way to kind of engage with your audience like real time. Um, Eliminate the editing and stuff of the video. So I enjoy it. And basically, how I'm going to use my community page is if I have special announcements, words of encouragement, pretty much what a lot of YouTubers or YouTube creators are using their community tabs for. So, um, yeah, I appreciate it. It's a nice little perk. And so we are working on getting Francoise up to her 1,000 subscribers so she can get
I
her
know.
community tab going too, so she can, engage with her audience the same way as well.
Well, and also for those of you who are just joining us this week for the first time, Tasha and I alternate weeks. So one week it's my channel, next week it's her channel. So for any of you that are watching who are enjoying this program, this live, please come over to my channel and subscribe so you can be kept up to date. I mean, I know Tasha is going to post on the community page when we are going live, whether it's my channel or her channel, but so you can get your notifications. It would be really helpful if you come over to my channel, subscribe, and that way you can be notified immediately when we are impromptu going live or when we have one of our scheduled lives. So but yeah, that was huge, and I'm so happy for you, Tasha, because you definitely, it was definitely well deserved. So, and it's been so much fun watching all your videos, so I'm loving
Yeah,
it.
thank you, baby. I appreciate it.
Yes. um so next thing we were going to talk about, I don't know if any of you guys are watching Olivia from Living with the Webs. um
Girl.
there was a lot going on this week. Last time we
Woo.
spoke was what, last Friday, so it's been over a week. And
Hmm.
last we spoke, we were in to Olivia's apology when she apologized to Jasmine and Chrissy about the previous live and kind of everything that's gone on, maybe like the past 6 months. I'm just throwing a number out there if it's been 6 months. All of the, crap she's talked and all of that. And then that was followed up with a couple of videos regarding Gerard being gone and her trying to start over and everything. So, Tasha, can you kind of expand a little bit on what's happened this past week? Because I know that there's been a lot of developments.
Yeah, so from what I gather, you guys, and pretty much everybody in this live probably watches this channel, watches Living with the Web. So apparently, y'all, her and Gerard and broke up again. Girl, I know. Y'all like again, child. That's how I was when I said it. I was like again. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, but we all know we didn't all have tumultuous relationships like that. Like we break up to make up, we break up to make up. But when we do it, y'all, it's not on social media for
Right.
everybody to see. see and to
Or not
judge.
on
And
YouTube. It might be on Facebook, but it's not on
right
YouTube.
on Facebook, right? Exactly. So apparently, Gerard is in the process of moving out the house. Um, she put up a video the other day where Gerard confirmed that he had the vasectomy. And I found that to be kind of strange, Francois, because I was like, this man is too young and only has what, two, three kids to have a vasectomy. But I guess his mind is made up. He don't want any more children. And in a way, I kind of commend him for that because there's no need for you to start populating the earth with children by several different women. For Gerard, in my mind, I'm thinking Gerard probably thinking, okay, I got these kids by this woman. It's easier for me to maintain these three kids over here instead of having three kids over here, two kids over here, one over there. So in that sense, I commend Gerard for
Right.
if that is truly what he did, get a vasectomy. I commend him for that instead of running around here having a bunch of kids by random different women, right?
Yeah, so no,
So
I think that's a very good point because oftentimes there's a lot of guys out here who, in a way, play victim, like, oh, she tricked me, I didn't know, da da da. So yes, I think that's actually a great call out on that because that's women are always made to look like the bad person when they get pregnant, but it takes two. And for him to take control of his family situation, I commend him on that one. If that's actually the case, um, I commend him on that because he doesn't have to worry about having any more children.
do y'all notice how we keep saying if that's actually what happened, if that's the case? And the reason why we're like that, because as y'all know, history has shown that Olivia says a lot of things and then she contradicts herself quite a bit of time. Now, again, that's that woman's mouth. She can pretty much do whatever she want to do that come out of her mouth. It's free for her, right? But my thing is this: if you the following that Olivia has, and for you and for as many people to admire her like they do,
Hmm.
why would you come on here and keep contradicting yourself? And now it seems like you're being portrayed as a liar, or a person that doesn't tell the truth. Now we all lie. Everybody lie. I'm not saying I lie. Francois lie. We all lie, right? But when you coming out here to my audience, I'm gonna give it to you raw. I'm gonna give it to you real, right? If I don't want you to know about it, I ain't gonna talk about it, right? So it's not a lie if I don't tell you about it. It's a lie when I tell you about it, then I turn around and twist it and turn it and retract, right? So now that became a lie. So that's the problem I be having with Olivia and all that back and forth stuff. Now, as far as her wanting to uh put the situation of her relationship out here on social media, that's that woman's business. If that's the way she wants to do things, then okay. You know what I mean? Me personally, I wouldn't do it. Um,
Well,
I just wouldn't. My
I mean,
husband wouldn't even allow it. You know what I'm saying? He
so
wouldn't want his business out there like that. You
Care
know.
Bear is calling out. She says she doesn't lie, and we don't do that. But so I agree with you. I mean, I don't live my life as a lie. My life is not a storyline. I think what Tasha is talking about, there's lies of omission where maybe you just don't say something about something, or maybe, hey, how do I look? And you say, oh, you look great, knowing good and well that maybe those might not be the best jeans for someone, or you don't really like their hair, but you're trying to be nice, so you spare them saying, I don't really like your hairstyle at all, it doesn't suit you. So I guess those kind of lies. But it just seems like there's a storyline going on, and I don't know. I really don't know what to think. I mean, she's really good at creating this narrative. I just don't know if it's real or not. So if it's real, very interesting storyline that she's got going on. If it's not real, hey, very interesting story. The difference between Hollywood and some of the people on YouTube is that in Hollywood, they have people that are called story runners. And story runners are usually people who are in the writer's room who are keeping up with the story. So as the creative people are being creative, they are keeping track of the storyline so that in episode 10 from episode 1, oh yeah, but don't forget so and so did this or so and so did that, to make sure to keep the story on track. There is no story runner. So if if there is some changes in the story, it's quite possible that it's fake because, or that there's some embellishment of what's actually really going on. Because in real life, we don't need story runners because we're consistent. We know what's happened in our history and our backstory. If Olivia is kind of making things up as she goes along, this is the reason where the inconsistencies comes up. But she keeps saying that everything is real, but it's probably not.
Well, somebody else just mentioned in a comment, it ain't even been 2 weeks since that man had surgery and they having sex already. At least that's how it's portrayed in her video,
So now we need to
because,
Google how long does it need to be after you have surgery that
well,
you can
girl,
have
it
sex
gotta
again.
be longer than 2 weeks. Cause hell, when you have a baby, they tell you not to have sex for the first 6 weeks.
And they're cutting a major artery, not an artery, but they're cutting a major piece of that plumbing. Just use a
Right. She said
wouldn't that
plumbing.
hurt?
Right. I mean, because it's his testicles. When they
Hmm.
do the vasectomy, it goes within his testicles. So I would think you wouldn't want them jiggling and jangling all around. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I don't know. But y'all, I'm not trying to take a whole 30 minutes talking about that man and his uh uh penis or whatever.
Right.
But my whole thing is like at this point, um I think I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The relationship that we seeing right now, this is my opinion. The relationship that we're seeing right now of Olivia and Gerard, I think that's always been their relationship. Because if y'all remember, if you listen to Olivia a few months back, maybe like when I started watching her, which is probably October of last year, she said that her and Gerard's relationship has always been up and down. Like
Hmm.
this has been them all the time. Well, of course, we're paying more attention to it now because she has such a large following, so we watch her videos more. But I think this
Hmm.
back and forth with Gerard and Olivia has always been. Now, she did make a video the other day said a woman answered his phone. Well, that woman could have been his sister,
His
that could have been
mother.
his auntie,
Hmm.
his mother, that could have been anybody. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the way when she said a woman answered his phone, her response to that versus a few months ago when allegedly a woman, somebody had called her phone. It was a woman. Remember, y'all, when she was sitting in the McDonald's and was talking
Hmm.
about it? She was a
Yeah.
little more irate that time than she was this time. Like, I just think Olivia has perfected the craft of being an actress.
Hmm.
Gerard is not acting. I feel like whatever Gerard say is true, uncut raw. He's the type of guy where he don't have any filter.
No.
Olivia has perfected her acting skills, and I just feel like a lot of what she says is just an act, you
Yeah.
know. Um,
It's hard to
that's just how I
follow.
feel about that. Yeah, it
It's hard
is,
to follow
and
because is there's so many discrepancies. For me, it bothers me because whenever I watch a show and there's discrepancies, it bothers me. And considering the fact this is supposed to be real, um, it's I can't watch it that much.
hello, Giovanna. Thank you for joining. So y'all, so that's and so yeah, from if y'all been watching, she's trying to change the channel name. I did notice today, y'all, she posted a video, and the picture of the webs is not on there anymore. It's just a picture of her. So I think the separation of her and Gerard might be true. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But that's that woman. That's her life, right?
Well, and
We
that's
just
true, but
view.
it's not even so much she's putting it on her Facebook page. She's putting it on a public YouTube channel for all of us to watch at our leisure,
Mm-hmm.
for us to have these conversations about. So I'm not gonna down her for what she's doing. I'm just gonna be watching. So, like Wendy would say, we'll be watching.
Yes, ma'am. We sure
Hmm.
will.
So, in another YouTuber that we love to watch too is our girl Chrissy from Strong Mommy Chrissy. Last week she had a very bad cold. In fact, everyone in the house had a bad cold. Um, and she was talking about her husband having left, and she was missing her husband, and Um, things were just not going well. The kids were having trouble at school. A couple of the kids were being bullied. There was just some really bad stuff going on. So she ended up pulling the kids out of school, getting them registered into a new school. That was one of the last episodes I saw, and that might have been early this past week, where
Mhm.
I think they're starting a new school this Monday, possibly.
No, they've already actually
So that
started.
was last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they were starting new school. She was getting their clothes, and I think this is a non-uniform school, so she was getting them some clothes and stuff together, just some new, just freshening up their wardrobe, stuff like that. But she was talking about some things like that. What else? What else have you heard this week? Because I honestly, I've been out of the loop. This week was really crazy for me at work.
Well, she hasn't she's been doing a couple lives
Mm-hmm.
in the evening. I know from what I saw earlier in the week, she's overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
by those, being basically the sole caretaker of those 8 children. Now her mom is there, but I believe her mom has some health issues.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like another adult in the building, but I don't think mom is as hands on as hubby was. So
Right. Well, mom
so
raised
I'm
her kids. Mom raised her,
exactly, yeah,
and she's probably
exactly.
just like, maybe to babysit every now and again, but she's probably not there to help raise her children.
Yeah, I think she's just probably another adult in the building, in case Chrissy got to run out real quick, or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this about Chrissy, like I pray that the union between her and her husband is brought back together. I truly do. I hate to see any type of relationships break up, especially in her situation, having 8 children, being away from her hometown. Um, that could be very stressful. I know she did a couple of lives last week where she was just like very overwhelmed with having to be the sole caretaker of those children right now. So
Mm,
I hope that works for your girl. I really do. I know
agreed.
her trip is coming up. I think it's in what, June or something like that. That giveaway she did where
The
she sponsored
VIP
somebody.
Platinum
Yeah.
Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was
I
not
think that's
selected
in
as a
June.
winner. Just so you guys know,
I
I will
know.
not be. She announced the winners, and I was not on the list.
Oh, she did announce the winner.
She announced the winners, yes,
Oh,
and
okay.
no, but yeah, that's supposed to be coming up pretty soon.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a couple of other. I think Jasmine's supposed to be going, so we will have to be. We'll have to be watching and following up, and just see all the fun that they're getting ready to have, because it's supposed to be really. It's going to be super fun, super
Okay,
VIP,
rubber band. Hmm.
super VIP.
Well, like I said, I like Chrissy.
Hmm.
I like her vlogging style. I like her content. So I just hope her situation gets better, and if it doesn't, I just hope she's able to maintain by herself with those 8 children.
Oh my
I
gosh,
really
she
do, because
will.
I
She
can
will.
imagine. I have four, so I biologically have 4 children. So to take those 4 kids and multiply them by two, baby, I don't know if I could do it.
But you did.
Like that's a lot.
Yeah. You've had as many as 8 before.
No, 6
Okay, at one time. Okay,
at one
because you got
time.
your 2 adult kids. Okay, who are out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
lot. It's a lot. I mean,
yeah.
I
It
just have
is.
my one, and it's a lot. So I can only imagine 8 at one time. So
And then her children are still small.
yeah,
Her children are not like teenagers or. I don't even think she got. I think that oldest baby. I don't even think she's 10. I don't
yeah,
really know how old she is. I don't remember, but I don't believe she's 10. So she still have children that needs babysitters, right? So um, that's just a lot.
hmm yeah.
So
So
what else is
Nadia
going
Hammond
on?
is saying that Chrissy's doing her best. She's going to be fine. I think so too. I mean, I don't think you're going to have more than you can handle, and even with having your partner there, your husband, um, or boyfriend, whatever the case would be, but I know in this case it's her husband, missing, having him not be there, I'm sure it's a huge miss. However, she's the mom, some of the kids are in school, even though it's going to be really rough, but in a few months from now, she'll be able to look back and see that she was able to handle it, because every day that goes by that the kids are safe and have been fed and in their bed safely, doors are locked, and even if she's only getting like 4 hours of sleep, she did it, so she can do it.
Well, she hasn't even really said much conversation about hubby, if he's
Mm-hmm.
coming back, if they're working on things. Like I don't recall hearing her talk about that. Maybe
No.
that's a part of her life she doesn't necessarily want to put on on YouTube, or I don't know, but I don't remember hearing, so I don't really know how that's going. I don't know, because like I said, you guys, when I watch Chrissy, I kind of dip in and out with Chrissy, um, on her lives. I tend to don't stay long in her lives because her lives tend to be kind of late at night because there's a 3 hour difference. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times she'll go live and it's already like 11:30 here, and it's probably what 8:30, 9:30 there. So I'm already in the bed, so I'll stay up as long as I can, but I can't stay up for the whole entire live.
Well, I'm the type of person too, also, that if something's not going right, I don't always want to talk about it. So she
Right.
addressed it. Maybe she feels like, you know what, I'm good for right now. Maybe if someone asks, she'll talk about it. But she does seem like the type of person, if she's good on a topic, she's discussed it, she's probably not going to discuss it again unless maybe people are asking about it. So I think that's, I think that's, I mean, I can relate to that. So I don't necessarily have an opinion like, oh, that's great versus wanting to talk about it, because some people want to talk about a problem. But if she's the type that doesn't want to talk about it over and over and over again, because that just becomes the story, I think she's also savvy enough to understand what becomes the story. And if she keeps talking about it, that's going to be the story. If she wants to keep things focused on her and grinding and handling her business and taking care of the kids, then she's managing her narrative well. So if
Well,
that's what
silly
she is
mommy of
doing,
four,
I would commend her on that, because she's keeping the story focused on her and not her problems.
silly mommy of four says that
He just
they
left.
that they talk every night. Yeah, and that he
Hmm.
just left. So
Yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, what works for them, dad gonna sure work for me.
Yeah,
you
that's too
know.
bad. That's yeah. So we were gonna just get caught up on what's been going on with my Jazzy life, Jasmine. So I know that there's been some stuff going on. I know last week she kind of gave an update about her relationship with Philip, and it sounded a little confusing. What did you think about that? I was a little kind of like, that's, yeah.
So
What did you
I
think
did a
about that?
video about that today, you guys.
Hmm.
Well, not so much about the situation with her and Philip in detail, but I talked about it a little bit. So y'all need to go watch that video. But what I will say is this: Jasmine she looks stressed to me, and I mean, which I can see her being stressed. Having to maintain four small children by herself can be stressful. She did just move into an apartment. She's not living with her mom anymore.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really think, now this is my opinion. I don't know this to be true, but I think the reason why Jazz moved out of her mom's house, even though she had talked about it like right before Christmas and stuff about finding a place, I think she was getting a lot of heat in the comments of people talking about her, saying bad things about the fact that she lives with her mama. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna let a bunch of strangers talk me out of my comfort zone. Like if it was
Right. There's
comfortable
nothing wrong with
for her to
living with your
be,
mom. Yeah.
yeah, if it was comfortable for her to stay at her mama house and her mama was cool with her staying there, and from what she says, her mom was very rarely there anyway, so she mainly had the house to herself. I wouldn't have let, I would, I girl, I wouldn't have let no strangers talk me up out my mama house. Ain't nobody paying them bills but her,
Right.
So I'm assuming the apartment that she moved into is affordable for her. So I pray that works out for her.
Hmm.
But like I said, you guys, the situation with Philip, it just seems like Philip did get to 5 years, and that's where he getting ready to be. And Jasmine basically got to go on with the rest of her life because, as everybody should know or does know, you cannot have a relationship with somebody incarcerated. Like it's damn near impossible. I get it. You do the phone chats and the visits and stuff, but like you need somebody in real time. Like you need
Right.
somebody with you on a daily basis, because a lot of times things happen and you may not be able to talk to him for 2, 3 days from the day it happened, or her, whatever the situation is. So, but like I said, Jazz has been with that man from what she says, 16 years. She's been with that
Hmm.
man quite a long time. Whatever she chooses to do is her, of course, is her
But
choice, and I hope
she's
she
not
makes it.
30 yet, is she? Is she even 30?
No, no,
So
she's
she's
not
been with
30.
him
I
since she
believe
was a young teenager.
Yeah, she was real young. I think she was in
Yeah.
middle school from what she said. She was in
Yeah, if
middle school.
she's 26, 28 years old, if it's been 15, 16 years, she's talking about since she was 12. Um,
Yeah.
but silly mommy of four said that Philip is playing jailhouse games with her, which I agree. Um, also, Reese's said that I'm assuming Jasmine, her comment reads, she said her mom didn't want to take care of the kids anymore all the time. So maybe Jasmine was falling back too much on her mom. And maybe it's kind of hard living in the house with another adult and the kids know that that's grandma and going always looking to grandma for help or something. Who knows? I don't know what the situation was, but if her mom's saying she didn't want to take care of the kids anymore, then maybe it was time for her to get her own place so the kids would fall back just on her and wouldn't just be going to the next adult that's in the house. So maybe with Philip being gone, who knows? And that would make sense.
I don't look. What's your opinion on this? Now, I said this in my video, and I posted it right before we went on this live, maybe an hour or so before we went on this live. But this is what I said, y'all. Now, again, this was me, okay? Because I was once Jasmine. I was a young woman with 4 kids, right? Baby daddy was in jail. You know, been there, done that, right? So here's my, well, at the time I only had two when that happened, but here's my thing. Me personally, this is what I think. Her oldest daughter already goes to school, right? Then she has the three younger ones. Now, I get that childcare costs a lot of money, but I would think maybe if she put those kids in daycare, maybe for a couple of days, like for 4 hours, like maybe on a Monday and a Wednesday, or a
Like
Wednesday and a
mommy's morning out.
Right. Put them in there for like, because all the kids, Amaya, I think that's her name, and then the two little babies, they're all at the age where they can go to daycare. And if she don't put them in there for like 4 hours of the day, I wouldn't think that would be that much expensive. I think if she did it like a couple days a week for 4 or 5 hours of the day, like right when she drops the baby girl off at the bus stop, or if she takes her to school, then she runs to drop them off at daycare, that would give her time to have time completely to herself, right? Give
Go to
her
the
time
grocery
to get back
store,
home. Yeah, go to the grocery store, go home, clean up, maybe
take a
you know,
class if you want to, go to the gym,
right.
have a
Or,
cup of
work on the
coffee.
YouTube, maybe edit
Hmm.
some videos in peace, answer emails. I mean, I think that would give her some time. That's not saying that you're a bad mama because you need mommy time
Absolutely
from your
not.
kids.
Yeah, no,
I mean, when
absolutely
I was
not.
working, that was my mommy time. The time I was at work, like that was the time that I had away from my kids. It gave me the distance that I need because I mean, it's hell, it's a lot dealing with children, especially her kids, and they're so young, right? And I think if
Hmm.
Jasmine did that, that would give her some type of relief, right? And just for 3 kids for a couple hours, 4 or 5 hours of the day, I don't think that would be so much,
Well,
for a couple of
someone,
days.
Shayna Monique, we all need a break. She says we all need a break. And silly mommy of four, yes, she does get government assistance. So if she does get government assistance, she might get that child care resources. That's what they call it here in North Carolina,
Well, here's the
where
thing. In
you
my
get.
state,
Uh-huh.
in Indiana, you have to either be working or going to school. And if Jasmine's not doing those two things, and I don't think YouTube would for the state would be considered working.
I
Although
would
it
go
is
register for a
they,
class.
right. So she can't do that. So the government wouldn't pay for it if she's not either working or going to school. When I say the government, I mean the state government, because it's the state that will pay for it for her. But even like, yeah, I'm just saying, even if she had to, take a few, well, she do got rent now. She got full rent now. I think she
Hmm.
said that rent for that apartment is like $1,200 a month. Ooh, that's a lot. But I don't know, y'all. It's just a motherly suggestion. I just
Well,
think if she did that for a couple days a week, that would give her a time to catch her to catch up,
well,
to
and they
release
have programs like
that.
that for that reason because people know that, especially if you are a stay-at-home mom, no matter what your situation is, you could have a husband with a great job and you're home all day. There are plenty of facilities who've made that available because sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you need to go get your hair washed. Sometimes you just want to take a walk. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a break. Um, Even more so for stay-at-home moms, because you are not having a lot of adult interaction, and it can get very lonely at home by yourself all day with just the kids and not being able to talk about adult things, with your girlfriends, or being able to take a phone call or doing something just for yourself. So, you know, maybe she'll do that. But someone was saying that maybe Jasmine doesn't want to go to work, or maybe not take a class. She can get quite a bit of money if she's going to school. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she hasn't thought about going to take. Wasn't she in college at one point? I feel like I remember her
Yeah,
saying
she
that she
was
was
in
in
college.
college.
I
So,
believe she has an associate's degree, or maybe even about. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really went all the way back to the beginning of Jazz's videos to really get her whole. You know, I, here's the thing, y'all. It's just a suggestion, just to help
mm-hmm,
her, because when she comes on these videos, y'all, and the way she explains herself, and
mm-hmm,
it comes off as she's very overwhelmed. She's very anxious with having to be with the kids all the time, and she can't say that she isn't, because I mean, yes, you will be. I
yeah,
mean,
it's a
to
full
have
time
11
job.
months, yeah, it's a full-time job, and then to juggle that and to juggle, and I will say this, she is doing a good job of it. You know what I'm saying? She's
Mm-hmm,
maintaining. She's managed to keep her channel. Her channel is growing very rapidly.
mm-hmm. She's
Because when
doing a
I
good
first
job.
started watching Jasmine back around the same time I started watching Olivia, I think Jasmine was like at 11,000 subscribers. And that was like in October and November. So just in a few months, she has grown well over 10,000 subscribers.
Right.
Like, that's good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that she's not handling her business. I just think she needs some relief, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if baby daddy was here, that probably would be her relief. Well, he's not, so now we got to work our way around that situation. Like, we can't keep talking about the fact that he ain't here. We got to move forward, because from what it sounds
Right.
like, he ain't gonna be here for the next 4 5 years. You know,
And
so we got to
that's
figure
a
out
good
something
amount
else
of
now.
time, because just imagine those little ones could be in first grade by the time he comes
Right,
home.
right.
Because they're not even one yet.
I think there'll be one
So
next month. Mm-hmm.
5 years from now they'll be six. So they could either be going into first grade.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So yeah,
So
that's a
yeah, but
lot. But yeah, we've been watching. We're watching and staying, so hopefully you guys, I don't know if any of you guys watch her channel, but definitely she's got a channel that's worth keeping an eye on. She's got good content and regular content. So
yeah, y'all go.
mhm.
If you're not subscribed, y'all go check her out. Because I'm not saying
Mhm.
her. She does do good quality videos. And she has a lot going on. And if you're a mom who's just like her, a
Mhm.
mom of two or more children, you can relate to her. And if you're a young mother of two or more children, but
Mhm.
y'all can relate to her. So y'all need to go check her out.
Well, and one thing I can say too, as far as her channel, and this is just my opinion, I don't really have a question mark when I watch her channel. Like, I kind of believe everything that I'm hearing and seeing. I don't really feel like there's a storyline going on, even though we all have a storyline in a way. There's things that are happening in our lives, but I don't, where other channels we just kind of talked about, specifically the one, um, I think her program, her channel is really authentic, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do. I do too. I
Hmm.
think her channel is very authentic. Other than, yeah, her channel is. You
Hmm.
When Jasmine says something, you pretty much believe it's true.
And you can
You know what
kind
I
of go
mean?
back and say, okay, I remember that. Oh yeah,
Right.
okay. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not like, wait a second, didn't you say, or
Right.
what?
Right.
That's
Like,
odd.
girl, you
Wait a
just
second.
saying
Right.
too funny.
So, because yeah, I mean, things change and things can change drastically in a second, but just the obvious kind of, wait a second, is somebody making up stories for us? So yeah, that's weird. But yeah, no, you don't find that at all with Jasmine. And I know that there were some questions about Chrissy's channel. So if you don't know about that, then you're welcome to go back in a ton of videos and you can find where people had some questions. But for the most part, she's pretty consistent as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So what's so here's the thing, y'all. So kind of back to the whole. Jasmine's situation. So here lately, you guys, people, other YouTube creators, viewers, subscribers are doing a lot to these YouTube creators, right? So we're body shaming. We're what's that word everybody like to use? Bashing
Mm-hmm.
each other, right? On people's personal appearances and things of that nature. And then I'm gonna tell y'all like this: if there's a such thing as giving someone constructive criticism, right? But constructive criticism is not necessarily dissecting a person apart for every little flaw that you see. Like we all got flaws, right? Like there's a way of telling somebody something without hurting their feelings,
Mm-hmm.
right? So here lately, it's been a lot of that going on in this YouTube sector or community or whatever you want to call it. It's been a lot of YouTubers are talking about each other and hitting below the belt, and that's not how grown women should act, right? Grown women shouldn't act like that. Now, do grown women act like that? Yes, they do, right? But as one YouTube creator to another, like, baby, this a business, and this how it needs to be handled, right? Now, am I
Mm-hmm.
saying everybody should be loving up on each other? No, I'm not saying that, because as you know, as we all know, everybody in the world do not get along, right? So I'm not saying everybody should love up each other, but if you, like my mama used to say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all. Period. Right? When you
Mm-hmm.
start talking about people's personal appearance and things of that, let me tell you something, y'all. It's a lot of people in this world who have committed suicide based off the fact of what people have been saying about them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a few years ago, a very well known rapper, Waka Flocka, his brother committed suicide from cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, right? People saying things about him. I don't know the whole detail of it, but I do know it was cyberbullying. Like y'all, it has to stop. Like it has to stop. Like it should nobody be bullied.
Right.
You know, if you got a problem with somebody, just address it. If you're an adult and one adult to another, address it like an adult, right? Now kids, they're learning to address things like an adult, right? So kids, you can't really talk about the kids because kids is kids, right? But when you're dealing with one adult woman to another adult woman, y'all should know how to be able to communicate with each other without, like I just said, hitting below the belt.
Well, just like President Obama used to say, we can disagree, but not be disagreeable. And,
Right.
say what you mean and don't say it mean. Um, I think sometimes when you disagree with someone or you just have some questions, people consider it, like you said, bashing. Or I've had people, when I've given my opinion on something, say, like, what makes you relevant? Well, I make me relevant. I have a channel, I create content, and if I want to give an opinion, I can give an opinion, and that doesn't make me irrelevant because I was relevant enough for you to click on my channel and watch my video. So you now all of a sudden wanting to shame me for voicing an opinion or asking a question, it's rude, you know. It's not it's not, I mean, but hey, you can't stop people from doing what they do. So you know what I mean? So it's one of those things also, they can have their opinion, and I try not to let it bother me, but I do know that it can be very hurtful because I've seen people really get very upset from negative feedback, and kind of makes them consider their YouTube life. And at the end of the day, um, if someone's putting content out there, you will be judged. I mean, everyone's not going to be judgmental and everyone's not going to be harsh with you. I mean, I don't think you and I are harsh at all. We talk about what's going on. I don't think we ever are nasty and say mean things about anyone. We can ask questions, we can give our opinion. I wouldn't care if any of those creators popped in this room right now. I wouldn't feel any kind of way. I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, they're here. What are they going to think about what I've said? Because I don't think I've said anything that anyone else isn't thinking, and I don't think I've said anything disrespectful about anyone. So I think as long as, you know, I think, you know, between us, you know, no one should really have a problem with us. But in terms of, you know, being really nasty and shaming people, I mean, there are people out here who are even shaming people for having a channel. Like, oh, you're just posting stuff for views. We talked about that last week. It's a channel. It's like a TV channel. Yeah, of course we're posting stuff for views. That's what we do. We want
Yeah,
I spent time on this video so you could come and watch it, you know?
right,
I didn't just
right.
make it for me. If I made it for me, it'd be private. If I made it public, that means I want the world to come and see it. However many people that world might be, I want you to come see my content because I want to share it with you.
And you know, and sometimes you have to title the video a certain way in order to grab somebody's attention, because as everybody in this room right here knows, when you're scrolling through YouTube, through the millions and millions of videos on YouTube, you'll scroll through stuff and something might catch your eye, and then you're like, click. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's called marketing, you guys. That's what it is. It's a
Right.
marketing tool,
Well,
you
just
know.
like
So you can't
when this video
really
went
like that.
live, it said live. It didn't
Right.
say maybe. It said live. So you're like, oh, Tasha Marie's live. Yeah, that's
Right.
yeah.
Right. So you know, you guys, you know what, I want to say this. I just want to take a pause real quick. I really appreciate you guys coming and joining us tonight. This type of conversation is something we talked about before. We wanted to do every week, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Right? Because what I don't like is, you know, you get in some lives and the person just talking all about them and to care less who in the comments saying anything. Like,
Wait,
you
walk
know,
off. Walk
right.
off for like 20 minutes and come back and be, oh, hey, y'all.
Yeah, just leave you hanging there, or you know,
Watch us
um,
live. I know this is live, but just watch us live.
right. So I hope you guys enjoy this content. We really do. We enjoy doing this. This is, like I said, like we've said before, you guys. This is Francoise and I many nights on the phone. This is how we do. We talk back and forth, and then
Hmm.
we just decided one day to do it as a live forum, so you guys can engage in the conversation as well, right? Because we all see these videos and we all have our opinions about what we're seeing, but we don't have nobody to talk to about it, right? So we want to give you guys a chance to, when we talk about a topic and you know something about that topic, we want to give you the chance to engage with us about that topic.
So use Tasha's community page if you ever have anything you want to talk about, or both of us have our email addresses posted on our channels. Don't forget to, if there's something you want to bring to our attention that needs to be talked about, send an email. You know, you put it in the comment section in the community tab. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, send an email. So definitely, you know, we want it to be interactive, and want your ideas too. So if there's something, you know, if there's something you need to bubble up, go ahead and do it, because you know we certainly do want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's saying something about language that is not kid friendly. I tell you what, there is nothing worse than I hate when I have YouTube up in the kitchen, because I've got the Apple TV here in the kitchen and I'm watching YouTube, and out of nowhere comes like F bombs, inappropriate, because my 7-year-old is never far away, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Because then my husband's like, "What are you watching? Turn that down." So yeah, I completely feel you on that with the language that's not kid friendly, because you know I'm watching typically moms who you know kind of tout kid friendly channels for a reason. And when you put that on and it's like, oh my lord, you know, that's something I need to have on in my ears. That's yeah,
Or
that's
especially the
a
kids,
pet peeve of
like
mine.
most of these parents, most of these YouTube creators that, you know, we talk about or have talked about, like they got children that are old enough to get on and watch their mommy's YouTube channel, right? And see y'all, you know, dropping the F bomb and the B bomb all through the, you know, video. Now, granted, everybody can, you know, everybody's got their own mouth and say what they want to
Right.
say, but you probably wouldn't want especially kids that are the ages of most of these, these little bitty kids. You don't want them seeing you using such filthy language. And then if you catch them, because as we know, kids are very impressionable, and if you catch them one day using a cuss word, how you gonna chastise them when you do the same daggone thing and they
Right.
look up to you?
Right. And I'm not perfect. I'm going to say this. Every now and again, you may see a video of mine and something slip through. But usually when that happens, if it happens, I'm usually already thinking to myself, don't do that. So, um, but certainly, there are some channels where it's just, you already know that you need to have your earbuds in because you can't listen to it with the family around because it's going to be inappropriate the whole ride. So, yeah. So, Tasha, do you have a letter this week?
So wait a minute. I do have a letter this week, but we just got a question from Care Bears, and
Okay.
it's
Okay.
for you and I, but I think you'll be more apt to answer that question if you want to look at it real quick, huh?
Okay.
Can you hear
So
me?
Care Bear's asking, yes, I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
So Care Bear, I did get so we talked about this a little bit once upon a time, and I've been meaning to do kind of a video on this, but Care Bear is also asking, what about careers? How do you become a successful at what you do? Or how do you find what you would be good at doing? So I mean, I could talk about this really quickly. So well, okay. So there's a school of thought that it takes 10,000 hours to become good at anything, and 10,000 hours is roughly the equivalent of 5 years. So 5 years of experience, you're supposed to be really good at doing something. So let's say you've had a particular job, like you're in accounting, and you've worked in accounting for over 5 years, then you should be you should be pretty skilled at what you're doing. Um, I actually started out in sales, and I all of a sudden I was identified to work in staffing. So staffing, recruiting offices are basically like similar to corporate recruiting. So I started doing that. I worked in staffing for like over 10 years, almost 15 years actually, and I started working in corporate recruiting in the last 5 years. So you know I think what I found was that I really enjoy working with people. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping people accomplish their goals. Um, I think that when you help people find employment, it's such a personal thing because people are staking their livelihood, their family, they're trusting my recommendations, especially when I worked in staffing, because I could guide people to a job. I mean, sometimes people would call me and ask me, maybe someone who I've dealt with, and said, "Hey, I've got 2 job offers. What do you think?" And they really trusted me to say, "Oh, hey, that sounds like a great offer. That's a really good company. You should try to go with them." Um, I think you have to really find what you like doing. So I guess I was saying all that to say I really enjoyed working with people. I really enjoyed helping people accomplish their goals, and I realized that I really had a talent for human resources. And I've been in it now, almost 20 years, and it's just really fun and rewarding. And does that mean success? Well, for me, I was working with a company for 8 years that I was really underpaid. And what I had to do was I started researching other jobs because I finally kind of, after I had my daughter, I was kind of feeling like, gosh, I'm not making enough money. So I started doing the research and learned that there were people who were doing the type of work I was doing that were getting paid a lot more money. So I started asking questions from different colleagues and kind of trying to figure out how I could land one of those jobs. And I just started applying and I started interviewing. And when I didn't get the job, I interviewed to get into corporate recruiting probably for about 4 years, because a lot of times in staffing, people don't give staffing recruiters the same respect as they give corporate recruiters. So long story short, I would start asking for feedback. Was there anything in the interview that gave, why you made the decision on this person versus me? Or do you have any development feedback for me? Things like that. So I asked people for feedback. I tried to do my own analysis of my interview. Where did I mess up? Where did I not give enough information? Are my clothes pressed? Is my hair done? You know, you have to measure your own level of success, what success means to you. Does success mean making this amount of money, this amount of money? Does it mean having an office? Does it mean being in your own cubicle? What does success look like to you? And then you have to kind of map how you're going to get there. So, depending on the type of job that you want to do or something that you want to pursue, you need to figure out what it's going to look like, that because success for me may be different for success for you. So, I know this is kind of really a long answer, and I don't really want to, bore anyone, but I think that it really just depends on what success looks like, creating a roadmap to get there. And when you close your eyes and you think about your dream job, about what you'd really love to be doing, and then maybe realistically, can you do that? um you need to start to map it out. So if you'd ever like to talk one on one, we could definitely try to set something up and try to talk about it and see if I can offer you any kind of one-on-one advice. But yeah, I mean, I got to where I am now, which is not like some high position, but I did end up landing a job in corporate recruiting. I am a senior corporate recruiter, or a corporate senior corporate recruiting business partner, and I work more in strategy and development of recruiting and staffing plans with senior leadership and things like that. And I didn't get here overnight. Some ways I did have to fake it to make it. I asked a lot of questions. Sometimes I didn't ask anything at all, and I would just be quiet and listen. And I really tried to learn the businesses that I supported, and also really tried to see what other successful people were doing. And I was faking it till I made it. And I'm trying to fake it till I make it to the next level too. So that's kind of the best I can give you in a nutshell without going like way too deep into like career chat. But um, we can talk again if you have any more specific questions. I can definitely try and do a video specific to this topic. And I know I promised you that I would. So reach out to me again, and maybe let's talk offline sometime, and I'd be happy to try to help you if I can.
So I think it would be quite informative, Francois, if you would do a video, um, because to help other people that's trying to find their path in life, into getting a career. First and foremost, you got to know what you want to do in life, and if that is truly what you want to do, you got to know how to perfect that way. You need to networking. Networking is always the best
Hmm.
thing in any type of career, right? You,
Yeah.
you got to know somebody that knows somebody,
Yeah.
right? Um, so
If you don't have a LinkedIn page right now, if any of you are looking for jobs, if you do not have a page on LinkedIn, get one, because LinkedIn is where professionals go to meet. And I mean meet as in the marketplace of finding jobs and professionally networking. LinkedIn is not where you're going to meet like your next best friend. I mean, maybe you will, but it's really not. It's social networking for professional reasons, like recommendations, referrals, knowledgeable about companies. Almost every legit company has a LinkedIn page where you can learn in like 2 minutes what that company does, if they're publicly traded, how well the company is doing, who the president of the company is, maybe even get in touch with the president of the company, where a lot of the people that work for that company are listed into that company. So you've got directories. You can find people who are posting jobs. There are jobs posted on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. Jobs I post are on LinkedIn. It's if you do not have a LinkedIn page and you are looking for a job, you're looking to change careers, you need to get a LinkedIn page. That's my
so
first
Tweety just said
recommendation
that
tonight.
she said Tweety just said that she did have a LinkedIn account for
Hmm.
her marketing revenue
Hmm.
endeavors, but she didn't put forth much effort. So Tweety, my advice to you is anything that you want to do, baby, you got to put forth the effort to do it.
Hmm.
Like I don't know what hurdles were in your life at that time to make you feel like you couldn't put forth more effort. But just like this YouTube thing, right? We created these channels. because we want to eventually gain revenue off of them, right? So if
Hmm.
we, and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but what I'm saying is if you procrastinate with anything, it's never going to happen. So if you truly like anything you set your mind to do, you can do it. What tells you that you can't do it is yourself. So you can talk yourself out of doing a whole lot of things, right? So if you truly want to do something, you have to have confidence in yourself. That's nothing that you can read about. That's nothing that you can hear about. There's nothing no one can give you. You have to give it to yourself.
Right. And like they say, somehow we always seem to find a scripture in one of our chats, but I'm just going to say this: faith without works is dead. So you can have as much faith as you want, but the Lord has given you hands and a brain and feet to be able to do some of the work yourself. And maybe even just the one thing that He's given you could be just the inspiration to know that this is a gift that you have, or that this is a job that you can get, or made you turn on the computer and found that job. Now it's going to be up to you possibly to apply for that job, to show up for the interview and things like that. Sometimes we have that divine inspiration, but if you do not take that divine inspiration and move forward with it and just kind of wish and hope, meanwhile, you knew something could and would happen. If you don't put the effort and the work in, it's not going to materialize. So that's my best advice, is that you got to put that work in. And sometimes it's not even going to be a lot of work. Sometimes you're going to be surprised, like, gosh, I did this and that happened. Wow.
Hey, Tex Mex
So
Mama, you made it,
yeah.
huh? All right, you guys. So
Hmm.
we're gonna get ready to close up the live, right? Because
Hmm.
Francoise has to go to work in the morning.
Right.
I got a lot of stuff I got to do in the morning. I don't necessarily have to go to work, but I got a lot of stuff to do. I don't know if I told you guys before. I'm in the process of moving, so this week is gonna be really busy for me because I got to start doing a lot of packing. I got a couple houses we need to go look at. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of busy for me this week, you guys, and I'm gonna try to vlog as much as possible. As much as possible. So I'm gonna try. But so you guys, as you know, have we said before, you guys have access to my email and Francois' email. And if there's something that you guys want to access and can't access on these lives, or you can't leave it in a comment in one of our videos, you can email us, right? So I had someone email me the other day, and this is what I'll do. When I get emails, um of course I will leave the name anonymous. Like who wrote me the email, the name would never be disclosed, right? But the situation will be disclosed, right? And so the reason for me doing that is, although this person that I got an email from, I did talk with them about the situation. But my thing is, if I bring it up here in this live where it's all of us in here, maybe I missed something on giving this person advice about their situation, right? So that's the reason why I want to share. We would like to share the letters with you guys because like the old saying go, two heads is better than one, right?
Hmm.
So what I couldn't give her, you guys can hear the story and maybe y'all got a different take. Oh, guess what? Maybe this was a situation y'all had, right? Because we all got a story, okay? So so just really quickly, I'm gonna read this email real quick. And so the person that wrote me the email basically addressed me, by a salutation, good morning. And it said, I'm going to make this really short. I wanted to give you the background info, but it's a lot for them to type. So in the short, they said basically what happened was this person is the woman is a grandmother to some children who were taken. Three of the kids were taken away by the state um, because of a neglectful situation with the mother, right? So they end up the kids end up going into foster care. So the person that wrote me the email, she was able to, I believe at one time she was able to have all three of the children. She had a little girl and two little boys. Well, the two little boys end up having to go to another foster home. And from that foster home, the children end up going to an adoptive home and end up getting adopted. So
Mm.
uh, what what she's trying to find out is from the state that she lives in, she's having trouble trying to locate these children, right? Because she wants these children, the two little boys, to still know who their other sibling is, which is the little girl. And I think the little girl is the youngest out of all three of the siblings. So she's going through a lot of she's hitting a lot of brick walls of trying to get some information of finding out where these little boys are at. Now, this is my advice to her. It depends on how the adoption was done through the state. If it was a closed adoption or an open adoption. In situations that I've been aware of from people that I know that have adopted foster children, you have a choice when you're in the beginning stages of adoption. You can leave the adoption open for that parent to still interact with the children, not on a daily basis. You can they I know a friend who adopted some children that were foster children, and she ended up doing it where they visit with the mother 2 times out of the year, right? So they go to a meeting place, a mutual meeting place, and they do a 2 hour visit with the mother. Now that's like an open adoption, or you could do a closed one where the adoptive parent says, "Hey, I don't want any communication with the children's family, none whatsoever. Once this adoption is closed and sealed, these children have a new life, right?"
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I think this is what probably didn't happen to this young lady's situation. I believe that the adoptive parents have decided or elected not to have any communication with these children's biological family, regardless if they were siblings or not. I'm praying that's not the truth. But I did suggest to her to reach out to the foster care agency that had the children originally, and let them know the situation. And if that doesn't work, I would suggest that she uh, appeal to the court, saying that, hey, I have a sibling of these children, and I want these siblings to still have a relationship, but I don't know how well that's going to work out. Okay. But I don't know what you guys' opinion is about that situation.
It's heavy. That's, I mean, I feel bad for the kids who are separated. I would hope that that's not the case. Because, I mean, are the other kids are old enough to know that they've got a sibling out there. I don't see how someone could adopt someone and think that they're doing the right thing unless there was some kind of harm potentially from the other sibling to keep two kids away from their one other sibling. Um, so I don't know. I would hope that it's just maybe just the case of that they're just trying to make things move and aren't really thinking of the kids, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a heavy situation.
Yeah, that's it. This is, and I hope if the person, the owner of this email is in the live, I pray that you don't feel offended because I truly want to help, right? And I just feel like my answers weren't enough, so I just wanted to involve, other people, um, so
I
they could
mean,
be.
I think on behalf of the kids, if that child is vocalizing, I want to see my siblings, I want to see my brothers and sisters, I don't see why, as not so much the adoptive mother or the mother who's got the one child can't say, hey, petition on behalf of this child that, they weren't adopted away from their brother and sister. They were adopted away from those parents. So as a sibling, I would imagine you have to have some kind of a right to know where your other siblings are. I don't know what the laws are, if siblings have rights to know where their other sibling is. Um, and maybe when they turn 18, I don't know what the laws are on that, or what, I don't know anything about this topic really other than what I've seen and heard maybe, and it's not even much. But, you know, when a kid's adopted, I don't know that they're adopted away from their brothers and sisters. They're usually adopted
They
away from
kind of
their
are. If you're
parents.
familiar with Teen Mom, I think it's
Hmm.
Teen Mom 2. There's a couple on there that they had a child at 16 and they end up adopting the little girl out
Hmm.
at birth, and they have a relationship with the adoptive parents where they get to visit with the little girl once a year.
Hmm.
Now, since then, now granted, this that was like 8 years ago when they adopted a child out. They've had two more kids of their own that they kept, and when they go to visit with the little girl that their biological daughter that they adopted out, those the other children are not involved in that. Like the adoptive family don't want the other kids that they had since their first child. They don't want that child to be a part of those other children. So yes, as an adoptive parent, you can say that.
Wow.
So
That's, I don't even know what to say.
yeah. So
That's
like I said, I
rough.
pray that she I suggest that she go to legal aid, and maybe that can help. Yeah, other than that, I don't know what else. Nothing but prayer can hopefully get those kids back together. I know she did say that the mother of these children ended up dying a couple of years ago. So the
Mm,
mother of the children is not even
that's
alive anymore.
awful.
Yeah, so the biological mother. So y'all, this is real life. These is people lives, and and that's why I wanted to bring this out there, because it might be somebody in this room is going through or has went through the same exact thing, right? So I'm praying for her, for her peace. I'm praying that the reuniting of her grandchildren, the grandbaby she has, the grand boys that are separated from them. I pray that that gets reunited, because from what it sounds like when I spoke with her, she like she wants this done before she leaves this earth. Meaning
Mm.
the grandmother. She wants those kids reunited with each other before she leaves this earth,
And they
and I
will
pray
be.
that comes true.
I think kids, you hear all the time about adopted kids going and finding their families, their birth families at a later age. So whether it's now or maybe when they turn adults, do they decide to do it? I think it's possible. Let's just hope.
All right. So
It's awful.
you
Well,
guys have any questions or comments for us? Francois, can you see that? Because
yeah.
I done
So
lost
Care
my
Bear,
mind.
she talked about that she went through something like this. She had a niece who wanted to see her sister, and the court said no. That is just, oh my goodness. Um, so Tweety is also talking about. She said she wished that there was a law for sibling rights. It's so sad. Supposedly, she has a sibling that was adopted out before, and she was never before she was ever born. So she that is that's hard. Gosh. I can't imagine, guys. I'm one of five. I'm number four of five kids, and that's rough. Okay. So, okay, guys. So Tasha, we're gonna go ahead and close this one out.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close it on out, you guys. I thank you so much, each and every person that is in the live now or was in the live. I thank you so much for sticking with us through the whole entire live. Like, thank you. We appreciate that, you guys. This is a different type of live, y'all. Like, we're not gonna get on here and start slanging people all over the YouTube streets and stuff. Like, we're gonna discuss some things that we see, but we're gonna give our adult perspective on it. Okay.
Hmm.
So if y'all want to come here for the bashing and the name calling and not, like, it's not gonna happen here, baby. It's just not gonna happen here, right? Next week,
It's
Saturday,
good. Hmm.
we'll be live on Francois Vlogs channel. So again, before y'all leave this vlog, y'all like it. Y'all go over there and subscribe to her, And Saturday, what time did you say, Francois? I couldn't remember. I
Do
cannot remember.
we're gonna do 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock would be great. And eventually, you guys, we're gonna work on. We got to figure out how this is gonna work. But eventually, we're gonna do a phone in thing where you guys can phone in and talk to us and maybe ask us some questions or whatever. Like, we really want this to be fun and interactive for everybody that's involved. So I hope you guys appreciate what we're trying to do here, and I really want this to grow. So if you guys know anybody that would enjoy being a part of these lives, y'all make sure y'all share this live. Y'all share our channel names. Also, we're gonna start doing. Well, I asked Francois about this because I don't want to say it until. But we got a surprise, right? So make sure
Mm-hmm.
y'all come to the live next Saturday. We got a surprise, okay?
Oh, I love surprises. That's going to be fun. Yeah. So, yeah, if y'all haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to do so, just, I mean, also so you can have your notifications, please do so. Come to my channel, subscribe. I've got a lot of good content. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel yet, there's a couple people in the chat room that I know come to my channel on a regular basis. I saw Wanapu. I saw, of course, Care Bear has been really active in the channel. I saw Miss Moon Pie. I saw a couple of people who I recognized, definitely, who come to my channel already. So they can vouch that I do have a lot of content and I post regularly. I post every day. So if you'd like to come over, please do so. I'd love to have you. And yeah, next week, Saturday, 9 o'clock, we can do this all over again. Don't forget to email us if there's anything that you want us to know, we should be paying attention to, if there's any really good channels that we need to be watching. I'd love any of your recommendations. So please send me any recommendations of channels that I could be looking at, because that's always fun to discover some new, really good content. So please send them over to me and Tasha, so we can, we can talk about them in, in our next show.
Oh yeah, and before we leave, my giveaway, the video that I just posted today, the details to my 1,000 sub giveaway is in that video. So y'all need to go watch that video. All the details are in it. I'm also going to post on my community tab tomorrow the details again of the video or of the giveaway. And the giveaway is going to be open for 2 weeks. It starts today. It's going to end on April the 7th at 11:59 p.m. So make sure y'all go watch that video and do what I tell you in the video so y'all can be a part of that giveaway, okay? Once again, y'all, it was real. Thank y'all so much. We love y'all.
Bye. Take care. See you next week.